We're continuing our series together, which we began last week, reflecting on our roots. Last week we reflected on gratitude, and this week we're reflecting on continuous learning. And so as we think about life's story, the long story of learning, we sing that story with one another.
Good morning. Welcome to Southminster Steinhauer United Church. You're welcome, of course, in this circle, regardless of who you are, no matter what your week has been like. If you're feeling put together or generally a hot mess, if this is your first time in this circle or you've been here many times, all are welcome here. As we often say, we're welcome here, all of us, all ages, all sizes, all colors, all cultures, all gender expressions, all sexualities, all abilities, all religions or none, all people, period. We open ourselves and commit together to creating a safer space where we're all welcome and where we all belong. A particular welcome this morning to our SSUC family from Saskatoon, many of whom have made the trip this weekend. Yes, we can say that. Thanks for being here, all of you, for making the trip. It's been a beautiful time together this weekend so far. But wherever you join us from, here or online, this is a place to wonder, to question, to express our gratitude and our grief. We have all of these things. Our joy and our frustration. We have all of these things. Our hope and our fear. We have all of these things. This is a place to be together in community, and as we meet, we respectfully acknowledge that we do so on Treaty 6 territory. Gathering place for diverse Indigenous peoples and the Métis Nation. We hope to honor that tradition by making our gathering place one of respect and hope, one of peace and reconciliation always. So why don't we take time now to honor this time and this place, welcomed into the light of a new day, welcome into a time together as community, and we can welcome from SSUC Saskatoon, the Nefesh Singers, with their beautiful voices to welcome the morning light.
Rising from the night, we reach for morning rays. We bathe ourselves in shining light and clothe ourselves with day. Morning light, help us find peace of mind this day. Morning light, help us find peace of mind this day. Holding cradled hands, we lift our empty bowls. The light of dawn fills to the brim our hungry, weary souls. Morning light, help us find peace of mind this day. Morning light, help us find peace of mind this day. Morning light, help us find peace of mind this day. Morning light, help us find peace of mind this day.
As we come into the gift of a new day, with its morning light, with its hope and its promise, we also come, as I mentioned earlier, with the whole range of human emotion. We also come this morning grieving the lives of those whose death has seemed to extinguish their light. This morning, Jerry Wynn, partner to Teresa, died at St. Joseph's Hospital. While it seems death ends our light, it extends it as it's passed to those who take up our song, who recover and receive our story and keep telling it, who live forward into the light we cast. So this morning we light this candle. Remembering that all light is connected. This isn't a different light than any of our lights. This is the one and same light that burns in, among, between, and around all of us. So we receive this light this morning, the light of a long story to which we belong. It's the light in all of our eyes. It's the light we receive from those whose death can never extinguish our love or their light. And so in honor of Jerry, and in solidarity and beside Teresa in her grief, we share a song. We'll sing our affirmation. We sing this at the end of every memorial service. It's what we will sing when we need to affirm the way our light of life continues to burn. We affirm that we're held safe in the undying light of love. I have a story. Who wants to come and hear it? Would anyone like to come to the carpet? Yes? It's a time for all ages. All are welcome. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm going to get right to it because it's really good. The Thing Lou Couldn't Do by Ashley Spires. This is Lou. Lou and her friends are brave adventurers. They run faster than airplanes. They build mighty fortresses, and they rescue wild animals. See the cat on the chair? Lou is pretty sure she's going to be a deep-sea diver when she grows up, or a race car driver, or maybe a pirate. Those sound fun. Her friends are saying to her, let's play pirates. Yeah, we just need a ship. Up there, the tree can be our ship. And Lou is saying, she doesn't look too happy about this. Let's find out why. This is new. Lou has never climbed a tree before. It will be an adventure, says her friend. Lou loves adventures, but this adventure is up. She likes her adventures down. She doesn't want to be up high. Lou suggests a not up a tree game. But her friends have made up their minds. Come on, Lou. Last one up has to walk the plank. Well, Lou says she'll be there in a minute. She just needs to change her shoes first. In Captain Lou Skullbuckle's opinion, the couch makes a fantastic pirate ship. But Mum disagrees. She says, it's a beautiful day. Go outside and play with your friends. Fine, she says, but her first mate is coming too. I don't know if you can see down here her first mate. It's the little kitty. She gets outside and she hears from the tree, ahoy, land ho, arr, mateys. They're still up there. Come on up, ye landlubber, says her friend. Lou tells them that her arm is sore. And anyway, the cat needs a walk. And also, she read once that you shouldn't climb so soon after eating. She really doesn't want to climb that tree, right? There are so many reasons not to try. And she gives a few of them to her friends. I stepped on a slug this morning. His funeral's in 5 minutes. I just found out I'm part fish and need water to survive, so if you'll excuse me, I'll be in the bathtub. That asteroid is headed right for us. Run! And my tummy hurts. I need to sit down. Basically, what's happening is she's saying, I can't climb the tree. Her friends say, we'll show you how. She wishes her friends would just leave her alone. She's fine down here. Besides, she doesn't even want to climb. What's so great about climbing trees anyway? Well, her friends seem to be having fun. I can see all the way to the North Pole from here. The treasure is that way. Arr! Oh, that does look pretty great if only Lou could climb trees. Yes, her first mate says, meow. And Lou thinks to herself, show off. Maybe she can get up there without climbing. There must be lots of other ways. Trampoline, pole vault, helicopter. Sadly, helicopters are hard to come by. We're under attack, all hands on deck, says her friends. It's a call for help. Shiver me timbers. Those scallywags need a captain. It's time for Captain Lou Skullbuckle to climb aboard. Okay, she's ready. She's ready. The pirate captain has faced some pretty scary things. Sea monsters, hurricanes, even a super bad brain freeze. Ooh, have you had one of those? That could take any captain down. And now Captain Lou Skullbuckle is going to do the scariest thing of all. She's going to climb this tree. Urgh! Urgh! She must be nearly there. And then thud, she knew it. She can't climb. Not yet, anyway. This is nice. Her friend the kitty is purring next to her, making sure she's okay. Her friends, being the kind friends they are, say, "Last one to the castle has to swim the moat." And they all head to the playground. Lou will be back to that tree, maybe even tomorrow. After all, Lou loves an adventure. Did you like that story? Pretty good, huh? Yeah, that's pretty good. I'll tell you what I like about it. We all can't do everything. There are some things that are really easy to do, and there are some things that are really hard to do. Like climbing a big tree.
Like wall climbing.
Yeah, wall climbing, that's hard too.
I go to rock climbing.
Wow. Yeah, but there's some really high ones. Those are really tricky. And you know what? I love Lou in this story because Lou shows us that even if something's hard, and you don't really want to do it because you know you just can't do it yet, Lou kept trying. She tried. She didn't get so far, but then, remember at the end, she says, "I'm going to be back tomorrow." She's going to try again. And that's the thing. When things are challenging, when things are hard, we can keep trying and keep learning. I know. It's also hard to have a baby sister. Keep on trying, Asha. Keep on trying. We all can learn. We can keep learning every day. So thank you for sharing this story with me. I hope you remember it. And I want to invite you to Kids Spirit this morning. Kids Spirit's happening. Preschool class is happening. And Youth Cafe is happening. So you can all make your way.
Reading from a book many of you undoubtedly met some time ago, All I Really Needed to Know I Learned in Kindergarten by Robert Fulghum. All I really needed to know about how to live and what to do and how to be, I learned in kindergarten. Wisdom was not at the top of the graduate school mountain, but it was there in the sandpile at Sunday school. These are the things I learned. Share everything. Play fair. Don't hit people. Put things back where you found them. aren't yours. Say sorry when you hurt someone. Wash your hands before you eat. Flush. That was before the water crisis. Warm cookies and cold milk are good for you. Live a balanced life. Learn some and think some and draw some and paint some and sing and dance and play and work some every day. And take a nap every afternoon. And when you go out into the world, watch out for traffic. Hold hands and stick together. Be aware of wonder. Remember the little seed in the styrofoam cup? The roots go down and the plant goes up and nobody really knows how or why, but we're all just like that. Goldfish and hamsters and white mice and even the little seed in the styrofoam cup, they all die. So do we. And then remember the Dick and Jane books and the first word you learned, the biggest word of all, look. Everything you need to know is there somewhere. The golden rule and love and basic sanitation, ecology and politics and equality, and they're all the same. Take all those things and extrapolate them into sophisticated adult terms and apply them to your family life or your work or your government or your world, and it all holds true and clear and firm. Think what a better world it would be if all of us, the whole world, had cookies and milk about 3 o'clock every afternoon, and then lay down on our blankies for a nap. Or if all the governments had a basic policy to always put things back where they found them and to clean up their own mess. And it's still true no matter how old you are. When you go out into the world, it's best to hold hands and stick together. In the thoughts of this writer.
Keeps us in tempo if you'll snap your fingers.
Every time I feel this way, this old familiar sinking, I will lay my troubles down by the water, where the river will never run dry. Hallelujah, myself be lifted. Hallelujah, myself be lifted. Hallelujah, myself be lifted. By and by, I will lay my troubles down by the water, where the river will never run dry. It's been said, and I do believe, as you ask, so shall you receive. So take from me these troubles, bring me sweet release, where the river will never run dry. Hallelujah, myself be lifted. Hallelujah, myself be lifted. Hallelujah, myself be lifted. By and by, I will lay my troubles down by the water, where the river will never run dry. There is a river in this heart of hearts, with the knowingness of my highest good. this river will never run dry.
Here's a story about continuous learning, a story from the first century, in a gospel we call Matthew's Gospel, which was written late in the first century. Jesus left the area of the Galilee and he went away over to the district of Tyre and Sidon. And a Canaanite woman from that region came and began to shout. And she shouted, "Have compassion on me, teacher. My daughter is very ill." But he didn't answer her. And his disciples came and they urged him and they said, "Send her away. She keeps shouting at us." And then he spoke to her and he said, "I was only sent to the lost sheep of the house of Israel." And she knelt before him and she said, "Please, help me." And he answered, "It's not fair to take the children's food and throw it to the dogs." And she said, "This is true, but yet even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from their masters' tables." And then Jesus said to her, "Woman, you are faithful. May what you seek be done for you." And when she went home, she found her daughter was well. In this troubling ancient story, I don't think we can read this story and say that everything Jesus needed to learn, he learned in kindergarten. How did a story like this get out? Not just once, but twice, actually. Either Matthew needed a better editor or Jesus needed a better press secretary. Matthew copied it from Mark, the earliest gospel. And you'd think any editor worth his salt would have recognized that this was a good story to be deleted, not repeated. Because really it's worse than a misspeak. It's worse than a Ronald Reagan, then President of the United States, telling the world that trees cause more pollution than automobiles. And it's worse than Sarah Palin referring to New Hampshire as part of the Great Northwest, or Afghanistan as a neighboring country. It wasn't just that the Jesus of this story misspoke or was mistaken, or was misinformed. He isn't just rude or unresponsive. His comment is a racial slur. A never-named woman politely asks Jesus to help her sick child, and he calls her a dog. If he made that kind of a gaffe in our time, his handlers would have worked overtime to spin it. Ha, what a sense of humor he has. We don't really get Middle Eastern banter. Or good on him, you know, he was just clarifying his personal boundaries. It was his day off. Or more likely, we would have said, fake news. But it's really hard to rehabilitate this behavior in a way that warrants being emulated. Here's a guy who's recognized as a great teacher for saying amazing things like, love your enemies. Not your friends, your family. That's easy. Love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. Do good to those who hate you. This is the guy we celebrate for embracing children and welcoming women, touching lepers, eating with outcasts, all truly radical and instructive things to do in first century Middle Eastern Palestine. But here, in this story, he's calling a Gentile woman a dog, a scavenger, a nuisance to the community, a creature with no place at his table, perhaps not even a place underneath his table. When Matthew's community writes this story, some 20 years or more after Mark's community, it adds a detail that first gospel writer didn't include. The story, as Matthew tells it, tells us she was a Canaanite. Those whom Jesus' ancestors killed, displaced, dominated in their conquest of Canaan to build themselves a homeland in the name of their winning tribal god. Now, surely, there was more to this conversation than a quip back and forth. It had to have taken more than winning the metaphor war for her to change his mind. There had to have been more to it than a good one line in retort where she said, "Would you help my daughter?" And he said, "Whatever bread I have to give is for the children of Israel, not the dogs of Syria." To which she said, "Okay then, just give me the crumbs, for surely the scavengers even get to eat the scraps." What are we missing in this story? What part of this conversation are we not getting to hear? How was it that she somehow companioned Jesus on his steep learning curve that changed his self-understanding and altered the very movement he inspired? Matthew and Mark are telling this story to first century communities that are struggling with inclusion. They're dealing with their own Jewish-Gentile relations. They're fighting about how Jewish one needs to be part of the Jesus movement. And at the same time, they're struggling with their own exclusion as they're being excommunicated from their synagogues that have been their spiritual communities for generations, where they're no longer welcome because they're inspired to live the teachings of an uncredentialed, self-styled rabbi that their religious leaders were relieved to have executed by the empire. But in this story, Jesus is not the teacher. He's the student. And a Gentile woman who's a descendant of the ancient enemy of his people is his instructor. You'll notice in this exchange, he's not acquiring information. He's learning from someone who would have been seen as a most unlikely teacher, someone who would have had nothing to teach him. And he's also learning from another great teacher. He's learning from his own mistake. A gigantic, painful mistake. In this encounter, he's learning that he's about more than the house of Israel, and that the movement of his vision to become a beloved community has got to be about more than the house of his own people. And he somehow learns in this encounter that he still has a lot to learn. And beyond the metaphor war of bread and dogs and children, somehow she manages to teach his heart empathy. An empathy that perhaps he has not yet experienced in his small Galilean world, his small town Nazareth life. Because in this story, he's in Tyre and Sidon. He's in the land of the ancient people of the Philistines. He's not in what was Judah or Israel. He's on the coastal land of the Gentiles. He's a visitor here. He's not the expert. He knows nothing of life here. But somehow, and this story doesn't tell us how, he learns how to feel the pain of another as though it were his own. He has not been the mother of a sick child, but somehow he comes to see himself in this child and in this desperate mother. And something in their meeting taught his heart to melt the degrees of separation between them, and somehow see that the wholeness of his people depends on the wholeness of her people. And he doesn't come away from this story spouting facts or statistics that educated his mind about women or children or Gentiles or the religious practices of Canaanites. Somehow, and the story doesn't tell us how, he learned in this encounter to move beyond the Gentile as an issue and beyond the differences in gender and geography and race and religion. And he evolves beyond his own socialization to transcend his time and place. He extends his heart and integrates his learning in ways that took him where he hadn't gone before. And maybe we get this story because we need its wisdom. Maybe it didn't get dropped because its early listeners, like us, needed its truth. They too needed to see that there is no more dangerous creature on our planet than the one who thinks they know it all. Unwelcome intrusions and instructors come into our tidy little realities and push us through another birth canal into the ever-evolving journey of what it means to become truly human. Doesn't this story offer us a window into a quantum leap for Jesus of Nazareth in his own human development. We human ones have come a long journey as relative newcomers in the cosmic story. If roughly the 4 billion years of planetary history were put on a 24-hour clock, we just got here in the last 5 seconds of the day. And the great story that we're part of, the great story of life's unfolding, is that life learns. That life keeps integrating its trials and errors, it's evolving and adapting, it's incorporating and innovating, continuously learning. And if life were to stop learning, well, that would be it, wouldn't it? But we can be good students and poor learners. If we absorb all the facts, but fail to be altered by our experience. If we turn only to experts and we fail to learn from each other. If we learn from books, but we fail to learn from brooks and streams and trees. If we memorize information, but we don't learn from our mistakes. If we can regurgitate, but we can't integrate, we'll be a good student and still fail to learn how to be a good human. No doubt we learned some really important things in kindergarten, in our early life, in our families, in Sunday school. But I hope one of the things we've learned along the way, through whatever teacher, by whatever mistake, in whatever corner of the world we turn, that we've learned that teachers await us everywhere. And mistakes invite us always. That life is a great classroom, and we are here to continuously learn and to be changed by what we learn and what we unlearn and what we relearn. And we never get to graduate from learning. We have to keep at it. Because there'll always be someone shouting at us. There'll always be someone standing before us. There'll always be some assumption, some question knocking on the door of our heart, inviting us to discover someone or something we'd never imagined in ourselves or for ourselves. So this is the time that we take with each other to pause, to think about what it is that life invites us to learn this day.
A few moments to share some gratitude with the community. Every week we gather, and every week our presence makes this community what it is. Our ability to be together with one another in so many different ways, not only on Sunday, but whenever we need each other, whenever we meet each other, we are present for each other. That's what makes community community. Thank you for all who volunteer their time in this place, and for all our programs and ministries, and for the way you support SSUC, your community, and what it does in the broader world. If you would like to contribute this morning, you can do so in a box at the back of the hall, which will receive your envelopes. And if you'd like to donate online, you can do that anytime at our website. And David will be available in the foyer selling grocery cards, which is a way to support our community as well. If you eat food and would like to support the church at the same time, you can buy grocery cards here, and a portion of that gets returned to the church. Thank you to all of you. And as we talk about the impact of our giving and how it not only affects our community, but also things and places around the world, we hear from Gail for our minute for the Mission and Service Fund.
If the wintry landscape we've been experiencing since September 12th, I believe, has made you think about Christmas, just 2 months to go, and I've got some examples here on how you can make a global difference this Christmas. Consider Gifts with Vision, which is a giving catalog that allows you to select gifts for United Church partners across the country and around the world. Working through partners Women for Change in Zambia, Kenya Alliance for Advancement of Children's Rights, and the United Church of Christ in the Philippines, a gift from you can ensure that girls as well as boys have access to education. Just $25 can help provide basic school supplies. A gift of $200 will contribute to tuition, bursaries, and teacher supplies. What difference can that make? A study in Zambia has shown that AIDS spreads twice as fast in populations where girls are not educated. In Kenya, another study has shown that where girls are given an opportunity to go to school, crop yields are 22% higher. Gifts with Vision projects vary widely. In 2015, the purchase of goats in Zimbabwe provided milk, cheese, and meat for hungry children. A drum-making camp in Ontario taught young people the importance of the drum in Native spirituality. And some isolated northern communities were distributing gift cards to help with the purchase of groceries, all done through Gifts with Vision. Also in 2015, gifts designated for the Bissell Center helped with housing. This year, a gift of $250 designated for Bissell will provide a housewarming kit to those who are being settled in new housing off the streets. This kit includes pots, pans, utensils, linens, and other necessities. If you would like to make a specific difference this Christmas, the catalog holds plenty of possibilities. The headings include reconciliation, with many options across the country. You can help provide winter clothing to Woodland Cree in northern Alberta, for example, Haida language books in BC, or support for a healing circle in Toronto. Other headings, both national and international, projects include safe spaces, education, wellness, and dealing with poverty and hunger. To find the full catalog and to make a difference in the world, just go to giftswithvision.ca. Easy to remember, giftswithvision.ca.
When the moon unfolds its blanket to enwrap the earth with care, when the stars are shaken loose the song of all creation is a melody of love. It's a wonder there is any fear at all. If you listen, you can hear it. There is laughter on the wing, and it joins with those whose lives are filled with grief. And the gift that we are given is a small and fragile thing that can only call us far beyond belief. It's a wonder that human eyes are anywhere but here. It's a wonder, heaven so close and earth so small. When the song of all creation is a melody of love, it's a wonder there is any fear at all. In the heartache of the moment, some will tell you life's all pain, and the days of angel company are gone. But let your hearts become accustomed to the diamonds in the dark. You will know beyond a doubt that they are wrong. It's a wonder we are loved, and love is all that life is for. It's a wonder, heaven so close and earth so tall. For the song of all creation is a melody of love. It's a wonder, and it's living in us all. In us all. In us all. In us all.
'70s, that group of people decided to become part of the United Church of Canada. Eventually, they would become Meewasin Valley United Church. They made their home for many years in a building on Pine House Drive in Saskatoon, and were a vibrant congregation with strong leadership under a clergy couple by the name of Bob and Betty Lynn Schwab. And time turns and change comes, and Meewasin Valley evolved into a committed core who met as a spiritual community in St. Andrew's College. About a year ago, we began to have an exciting conversation about a possible partnership between Meewasin Valley United Church and Southminster Steinhauer United Church that ultimately led over the past year for Meewasin Valley to become a satellite community, and for all of us to become SSUC, Spiritual Seekers United in Community, Southminster Steinhauer United Church, meeting in Saskatoon and in Edmonton. Meewasin Valley United Church, now meeting as SSUC Saskatoon, joins us online, gathers together in home gatherings, participates with us in study groups, gathers on a monthly basis in St. Andrew's College to join us together online and continue the outreach work that has been very much a part of their central identity for many years. What you see before you on the screen is the work that Meewasin Valley United Church did a number of years ago to distill their mission and vision and values and to articulate them in clear ways, in ways that sat on the mantle in the front and center of their circle at St. Andrew's College. We honor those commitments. We receive them as gift and challenge. And we place those words that you see in the center of the slide that have been the core values of Meewasin Valley United Church. And we have now placed those values on our wall, naming those as the things that identify some of our common quest. These words, among many words, create a deep and powerful connection that unites us all as one spiritual community that gathers in two different places, distinct in geography, but one in heart and one in purpose. As you know, we're going to spend the next number of weeks exploring the themes represented by those words that you see on the wall that Meewasin Valley United Church identified as core values. Together, we seek to live, and we're going to say them with one another from top to bottom. Justice, respect, passion, balance, courage, integrity, creativity, gratitude, inclusivity, spirituality, compassion, responsibility, open-mindedness, continuous learning, joy. Words that become important to us, we not only say in this community, but we often sing in this community. Chris, you're going to share a little bit with us about the song we're going to share with one another.
You are about to sing a new song that you've never sung before. This is a song with probably the strangest title I've ever written. It's called My Noblest Task and Trade. It's not often that we think of our living and living according to our values as a trade, but I want us to think of that. I want us to think that we are constantly honing our craft, our trade, and our task of living the best human life we can live. So I wrote this in honor. You saw those three pieces on the mantle at Meewasin Valley. The words from this song are inspired not just by the list of values, but by their vision and mission as well. And so let's sing this song in honor of our new relationship and the legacy of Meewasin Valley United Church.
Good question. I'll be one, you be two. You want to be one?
No. My heart's beating too fast.
We're thrilled that so many of our family from SSUC Saskatoon are here this weekend, and we have the opportunity to welcome you in person to this space and to honor our new connection as one family, one community in two cities, and in United Church of Canada parlance, two regions. So we want to invite you, all of you from SSUC that are here. I think there are 15 of you that are part of that community, as some as friends, some as members, some as ministry personnel, all of you part of that community and representing them to us today. So we want to invite you to come and be with us here at the front.
Invite Helen and Bob.
Draw the circle wide.
Spirituality is a journey, not a destination. We all know that. We are all pilgrims. We celebrate that we create a community of belonging, whether in Edmonton, in Saskatoon, or wherever we happen to be. This weekend, and others like it, where we can travel to be with each other face to face. We get to know each other better at times like this. We celebrate, too, when we're together, that we've found places of belonging with each other.
You represent to us the community of SSUC Saskatoon, and we honor the legacy of Meewasin Valley United Church. We honor your unique and important spiritual journeys and how your journey has brought you into relationship with us, and our journey has brought us into relationship with you. And we honor how you continue to live and explore your spirituality in deep and meaningful ways. We want to offer words of commitment to each other as we journey together, and so we want to invite you to offer these words to us, and we in turn will, as SSUC Edmonton, speak them to you. So you go first. You are the furthest east.
As we journey together, we are excited to share our joys and sorrows, express our care for one another, act in solidarity and justice, and continue living the shared values and passions of a spiritual community, our family.
And now, SSUC Edmonton, may we speak words of commitment to those gathered in the front of us.
As we journey together, we are excited to share our joys and sorrows, express our care for one another, act in solidarity and justice, and continue living the shared values and passions of this spiritual community, our family.
I think that we speak for everyone in the room when we say that we welcome you and we share gratitude for each of you. We are enriched by your presence. May we all be enriched by this journey that we take together with new friends, and may our spirituality all grow and deepen in this time of belonging and togetherness.
We go from this time with one another to continue to learn from each other, to learn from our experience, especially from our mistakes, to learn from the long wisdom traditions of those who were first on this land, and from those of us who have come bringing our heritage, the stories of our family and of our experiences. We go learning from the great stories of our tradition, the wisdom that is around us in the natural world. And we go ever drawing the circle wider in the embrace of life, which continues because life learns.
Draw the circle wide, draw it wider still. No one stands alone, standing side by side. Draw the circle wide. Love the still point of the circle, around which all creation turns.